Mrs. Mason's class goes to a photorealism museum.
Good afternoon. Today we're going to be discussing photorealism, an American movement that started in the late 50s and went all the way to about the 80s. Today we're going to be discussing American influential realists from sculptors to painters. What made their art so interesting at times was that it was too photo, like it wasn't just photo looking, it was at times even more realistic than them because of the techniques they used. So enjoy the tour.
Richard Estes, Hot Girls, 1968. This is his painting from 1968.
What genre painting is this?
Estes paintings are done in the style of photorealism or hyper or superrealism. These paintings are done with a high degree of verisimilitude or realisticness. He aimed to give his 2D paintings a 3D feeling or quality.
What unites all of Richard Estes' paintings, and how do we know that that's what we're looking at?
Most of his paintings are recognizable buildings in New York City, but not tourist landmarks. He always paid special attention to the detail in reflections on glass and metal.
Hello and good evening. So how are you guys?
Well, good.
Alright, today we're going to show an artist called Chuck Close. This is one of his paintings of a realistic portrait. His name was Bob. He was born in a small town in Monroe, Washington. But a funny thing about this character is that when he went to school, he was just a terrible student. He was the person that you would think would amount to nothing, end up as a homeless bum. But ironically, he ended up graduating at Washington University and then going to Yale. Later in his career, though, he suffered from a collapsed spinal injury. So now he does like these weird large paintings with like things attached to his arms to paint. So you guys can comment on the art, that it's beautiful here. Alright, here we have a piece by Dwayne Hanson. He was an American sculptor born in Minnesota. What's unique about this artist is that he wasn't like a painter or drawer, he was an actual sculptor. He would cast his sculptings from actual people. At times he would have them be shaved, except their head area, so that when he would put them in plaster to get the form, the hair wouldn't get caught, and so it would be a more perfect human representation. Now, he would use strange and revolutionary materials for his time. He would use acrylics and polyesters and many other actually harmful materials. And I'm saying they were harmful because he contracted cancer around the 70s, and, well, yeah, not very helpful. So, you guys have any questions?
So you said he made casts out of people to make it look so realistic? Yeah,
and then he would go in and paint them afterwards. He would paint them to their skin tone.
No, does he use real hair?
No, he would buy wigs.
Ah.
And, like, sometimes he would, like, insert them and stuff like a doll. Or shall we move on to the next artist? Okay, we're moving on to this exhibition of Robert Bechtel. As you can see, he was a photorealist also. This is a painting of a female subject. Do you guys have any inquiries that you guys need to know about?
What inspires his work?
He draws his inspiration from nature and the environment, things he sees around the Bay Area where he grew up. He's a California native of San Francisco, so yeah, very interesting.
What was his intent for his artwork?
It was to communicate basically just straightforward expressions of daily life. Alright, well, we're done.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the art exhibition for Ralph Goings. He calls this one Still Life with Peppers. It was done in 1981. This is a hyper-realistic photo, as you can see. It was done in watercolor.
No way.
What kind of art did he start out with?
He started out with doing abstract art.
What influenced him to change so radically to the style?
Well, abstract art wasn't satisfying him. It wasn't giving him the satisfaction he wanted, so he started trying other styles.
Oh.
What did he set out to achieve in each of his paintings?
Well, in each of his paintings, he wanted to remove himself from his art as much as possible, so that there was nothing between the viewer and the subject, which was a painting.
Mm-hmm. Are most of his paintings like this, like in this type of environment, food settings?
Well, most of his paintings throughout the movement between the 1960s and the 1990s are just like this, hyper-realism.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thanks, yeah. Here we have a painting by Don Nettie called Rumi's Four Seasons. It is a very realistic painting of nature. He would gather different images, and then paint them all together to have one composite large painting like this. So, do you guys have any comments?
Mm-hmm. Does he do any other kinds of paintings besides nature?
He does. He does paintings of toys and marbles and reflections and that sort. Anything else? Or are we good? Or should we move on?
You said he uses photos. How many photos do you...
400 to 600 layered on, which is a lot. I think sometimes that might be a little bit of cheating, because then you have all that reference and then all that there, you know? It's just layering on. It's color matching at times, you know? But I digress. It's beautiful.
Wow. Well, thank you.
So, we can move on. Good afternoon, and we're heading out to our last painting. This is of Dennis Peterson, Dust to Dust. He was a hyper-realist painter. He was American, of course. This is an acrylic painting of a homeless person, as we can see. Do you guys have any questions?
When did he start painting?
He started painting from the age of 4. Actually, his grandfather was the one who started instructing him with classical styles.
What about the theme series he had to work on?
Well, the series worked on was about homeless people and such, and those people that aren't as fortunate as us. So, anything else? Or shall we just head to lunch? Well, this concludes our tour. Thank you for being a great audience. Please head over to the gift shop, and we encourage donations. Toodles!